What's going on, everyone? Your mom's favorite YouTuber KKS here, back at it with another video. Today, I'm going to be going over my Super Bowl, um, I guess predictions, overview. Let's talk about stuff regarding the Super Bowl. I'm recording this a day after the championship game, so the Chiefs and Buccaneers just won yesterday. But I'm pretty sure the video will be out, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but before the Super Bowl. So basically, I'm just gonna go over both teams, and at the end, I'm gonna give my prediction for who I think wins the Super Bowl. So first off, before I begin, I just wanted to say I predicted the exact score of the Chiefs and Bills game. If you go here, it was a poll by um, Colin Cowherd on his radio show, The Herd. It says, who will win the AFC Championship game? I put down the Chiefs. And in the comments, I said 38-24 Chiefs, comfortable win. Now, as we all know, the final score ended 38-24. The Chiefs, after the first quarter, didn't really look back. They had the lead, multi-possession lead for most of the game, and it was a comfortable win. So yeah, there you go. I guessed that correctly. Lucky guess, I guess. Lucky guess, I guess. Interesting. Anyways, moving on. Let's take a look at the team. So obviously, both the Chiefs and the Buccaneers have Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, um, the GOAT, and I believe the future GOAT. Um, I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna be. It's just a prediction, wild prediction. I think he's gonna be the GOAT when he's done. I think he's gonna end with. I don't know if he's gonna end with more Super Bowls than Brady, but I think he's gonna hold most of the records and in the record books for quarterbacks. I think he's has the touchdown record, the passing yards record, passing rating record, yeah, stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, Mahomes is gonna get like 4, 5, maybe 6 rings. Brady's almost uncatchable, but I think Mahomes is gonna show with his play that he's going to be the GOAT. But anyways, for this Super Bowl, obviously Mahomes has the advantage. I mean, it's just because he's won it last year, so he has the enough experience. So it's not like Brady's experience is like completely trumping the opposition's like in previous years. But um, Brady's like 43 years old, so like he's been playing great, but it's not at like a phenomenal level like he has in years past. It's at a great level, but again, he's 43. He's not going to be keeping up with Mahomes. Okay, so I think Mahomes, the Chiefs have the edge at quarterback. At running back, I think it's going to be the Buccaneers. The Chiefs have a very young running back room. They have Clyde. Le'Veon, we'll see if he plays. I think he will. It's going to be hard to keep him on the sidelines. I think he plays, um, but I don't know if he's gonna have much of an impact. I think the Chiefs might even opt to go with Darrell Williams over. I mean, Le'Veon's just not the same player. It's unfortunate to say, but uh, regardless, they're not gonna run the ball a whole lot. Neither are the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, although have a better running back room, Fournette has honestly he started off slow with the Buccaneers. They opted to go with Rojo, but now he's turned it up and he's looking like the running back we saw him in Jacksonville. But regardless, they still have Ronald Jones, LaShawn McCoy, another veteran who's going to try and win that bowl. Um, won it last year with the Chiefs, I believe, actually. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. And they also have Keyshawn Vaughn. I don't think we see much of Keyshawn Vaughn. He's a rookie. I think he's more of a future kind of guy. But they've got plenty of depth in the running back room, so I think the Buccaneers have the edge there. Although both teams are going to be passing, I think 60 to 70% of the time, closer to the 70% mark. But I think the Buccaneers have the edge. At receiver, very interesting. The Buccaneers probably have the most depth at receiver in the league. Mike Evans, wide receiver one, Godwin two, Antonio Brown three. I mean, Antonio Brown being your third receiver is insane. No matter how old he is, he still was the best receiver in the league 3 to 4 years ago. And plus, they've also got Scotty Miller. Tyler Johnson is playing out of his mind recently. And Justin Watson and Jaden Mickens are good too. Don't sleep on them. Plus, at tight end, they have a couple other great options Gronk and Cameron Brate. Mostly in recent weeks, it's been Cameron Brate. I think he's at this point of Gronk's career, I think he's still a good blocker. He's still a great receiver as well, but I think they're going to mainly opt for a blocking approach with Gronkowski. And I think Bray ends up with more targets. However, I think down the stretch, if it comes down to the wire, I think we see a lot of Gronk on like the last few possessions of the game. But the Chiefs, they have Tyreek, Watkins, McCole Hardman. Backups, they got Demarcus Robinson and Byron Pringle as well. So they have their own share of weapons. We'll see if Sammy Watkins plays. Um, I think if he plays the Chiefs, honestly, he takes them to another level. People, I think, sleep on Sammy Watkins. He's still a great player. He's a good wide receiver too. And McCole Hardman is another Tyreek Hill. So there's speed all around for the Chiefs, and I think um, they've got a very like their wide receiver group. I think is a better fit for Mahomes than Brady's wide receiver group is to him. I'm not saying that they're better. I think the Buccaneers receivers are better, but if you include Travis Kelsey, I think the Chiefs overall are better. I think Tyreek's better than Mike Evans by a comfortable margin. I think Kelsey is a better option than Chris Godwin. Um, and I think McCole Hardman and Antonio Brown are at this point pretty comparable. I still give the edge to Antonio Brown, but I don't think it overcomes the gap between Tyreek and Mike Evans and Kelsey and Godwin. Um, so I think the wide receiver group for the Chiefs has the slight edge, although the Buccaneers have better depth, but we'll see what it is. At the offensive line positions, that's a pretty big problem for the Chiefs. They just lost Eric Fisher to a torn Achilles, I believe, but they have Mike Remmers as a backup, so he's not a bad backup at all. I think he'll step in. He'll do his job. They have Andrew Wiley replacing Mitchell Schwartz. He's been well. I'm pretty sure he got injured the last game as well, but doesn't say anything here, so I think he's good to go. And the interior O line has done their job all year. I think they'll be fine. They've got good backups at left guard and center as well. Martinez Rankin and Daniel Kilgore. So I think they'll be fine. They've lost like their whole O line. Um, like coming into the year, they thought they would have Eric Fisher, Osemele. I think they still would have started Ryder, but they lost Duvernay Tardif that's in the opt out and Mitchell Schwartz to injury. So they've lost four of their five original guys, but these guys have filled in. Um, they were lucky these some of those guys got injured earlier in the year, so they've had time to acclimate to each other, and I think by now they're really set to go. And I think Mahomes is good enough in the pocket. His movement's good enough in the pocket that it really won't be too much of an issue, even against how the spectacular Buccaneers D line. But looking at the Buccaneers offensive line, they've got an interesting scenario as well. They've got a couple injuries at center and right guard. Um, Donovan Smith is a good left tackle. Marpet is a great left guard. AQ Shipley is injured, but Ryan Jensen I think is a solid center. Alex Kappa at right guard got hurt. Um, I'm not too sure about Aaron Stinney if I'm being honest. But I think he'll step in. And Tristan Wirfs, the rookie, has been excellent as well. Um, so I think both have good enough O lines to be able to protect Brady and Mahomes. But I think I'd have to give the slight edge to the Chiefs just because the depth they had as their backups, even though they've had so many injuries, the depth is still going to be good enough to be better than the Buccaneers. So overall, I think the Chiefs' offense is slightly superior to the Buccaneers, but Tom Brady is Tom Brady, and we'll see if he can do what he did with the Patriots with the Buccaneers. We'll see. Defensively, there are a few interesting things to notice. So with the Chiefs, their D line, pretty much the same as last year. They've got Chris Jones on the interior, Frank Clark on the edge. They also got Passignon and Nadi. So I think they've got a pretty solid D line. They've got good backups as well. Kalen Saunders, Alex Okafor. Um, so I think Chris Jones and Frank Clark are the stars here. But Passignon and Nadi are also solid guys. So I think the Chiefs D line is still going to be great. But I just don't see them comparing to the Buccaneers. Vita Vea is finally back. He got injured, I'm pretty sure week 1 or 2. But he's back now. He's a great nose tackle. They got Ndamukong Suh and Jason Pierre-Paul, two very well-known guys who have been great in the past and are still balling out even to this day. Um, they run a bit 3-4, so it's kind of Sue and Golston on the line, but you see Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett on the edge as well. So I mean, they mostly are D linemen, but in this scheme, they're the outside linebackers. But say it how you want. So with Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett on the edge, Mahomes is gonna have a lot of problems, especially with the injuries to his O line. Um, but I think he'll manage it. I think Vita Vea is gonna be Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh, along with William Golston, are gonna mainly probably shut down the Chiefs' run game, which to be honest isn't gonna be very like that big of a deal for Mahomes and the Chiefs. But I think it's still gonna stop it in late game scenarios. If the Chiefs are up, I think it's gonna give Brady a great chance of making this miraculous comeback against probably one of the best teams we've ever seen. This Chiefs team, I mean, it's one of the best teams I've ever witnessed. But I think Brady will be given the chance in a late game scenario if the Chiefs are up, because this D line's gonna shut down the run. So I think the Buccaneers definitely have the edge on the D line. If you count Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett, I do. But I still think the run D on the Buccaneers, I think Sue and Vea um, are going to be better than Chris Jones. Um, but yeah, both are great run Ds. Both have kind of average run games, but I think they're just both going to opt for the pass just to avoid the problems that will come with running against the opposition's line. At linebacker, the Buccaneers have Levante David and Devin White. This is probably one of the best linebacker groups in the league. Um, Devin White is a baller. Levante David is a baller. They even have Deion Buchanan and Kevin Minter as backups. Those guys are great backups in case of injury. So I think Devin White and Levante David have the edge over Willie Gay, Anthony Hitchens, and Damian Wilson. No disrespect to those guys, they're also great players in their own right. Especially Anthony Hitchens. I think he's one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. But they just don't stack up to Devin White and Levante David. For the secondaries, the Chiefs have I thought Bashad Breeland was starting. So I think this depth chart is wrong, but maybe it's Antonio Hamilton. I'm not sure. But they also have Charvarius Ward. He's a great corner, and they also have Rashad Fenton and L'Jarius Sneed um, as backups in case of injury. So the corners are solid. Not great, but I think good enough to make it work. But the safeties are insane. Tyrann Mathieu, one of the best safeties in the league, and Sorensen and Thornhill are also great safeties in their own right. Um, I don't know which one starts. It used to be Thornhill, but it says he's the backup here. Either way, they're both great players, and I think the Chiefs secondary has a good chance of outplaying the Buccaneers secondary solely because they have more experience. Because looking at the Buccaneers, they're very young. Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield, Jordan Whitehead, and Sean Murphy Bunting. That's very young secondary. I'm pretty sure none of those guys have played more than 2 years in the league. Um, but I think Carlton Davis is a great corner. I think he's better than either of the corners on the Chiefs. And Antoine Winfield is also a great safety. We don't know if he's going to play. I think he will. Same with Jordan Whitehead. I don't know if he's going to play. He's been balling. But I'm going to give the edge to the Chiefs simply because Tyrann Mathieu takes that to the next level. At kicker, the Buccaneers have Ryan Suckup. Um, he did have a few problems earlier in the year, but lately he's been getting going. But the Chiefs have Harrison Butker. He's one of the best kickers in the league, so the Chiefs have the better kicker. And at punter, the Buccaneers have Pinion. He's a great kickoff specialist. I'm pretty sure he led the league in touchbacks. He's got a great leg. And the Chiefs have Tommy Townsend. Tommy, Ta- Tommy Townsend. I don't know if I said that right the first time. But yeah, I think the punters are both good. I don't think they're gonna have like there's a major factor between the two. Um, but overall, my thoughts on the game with the Chiefs and Buccaneers. I think the Chiefs get off to I think a slow start. Usually, Mahomes, he's not. When you think of great quarterbacks, you think guys who are going to be great from the first snap. Mahomes is good, but he turns it up. He's not at an elite level in the first quarter. He's kind of slow to start, and I'm not saying this to say anything bad about him. I'm just saying most of his damage comes in the second quarter and beyond. So I think the Buccaneers take a 7-0 lead at the end of the first, but I think Mahomes attacks back, and I think they're going to get a touchdown and a field goal, and it's going to be 10-7 halftime. Um, and then going into halftime, I think the Buccaneers are going to have to make adjustments offensively because I think they get that first touchdown, but I think they're going to turn the ball over once or twice, and there's going to be problems, but I think they're going to come out strong in the second half. Mike Evans touchdown, make it 14-10. And then from there, I think it's going to be, I wouldn't want to say shootout because I'm not sure if Brady's capable of that, but I think they start trading scores. 14-10 Buccaneers, then 17-14 Chiefs, 21-17 Buccaneers, 24-21 Chiefs, 27-21 Chiefs. I think they get a field goal. Brady scores a touchdown, 28-27, and I think it really depends on who gets the ball last. I think if Mahomes gets the ball last, I think the Chiefs win. If Brady gets the ball last, I think Brady wins. But um, I think it's going to be 30-28 Chiefs. I think Mahomes leads them on a game-winning drive. Harrison Butker is going to have ice in his veins. He's going to kick the game-winning field goal, and I think the Chiefs win 30-28. I think I usually say to never bet against Tom Brady, but you also should never bet against Patrick Mahomes. And I think 10, 15, 20 years down the line, people are going to be looking at this game and they're going to be basically signaling it as a passing of the torch from Brady to Mahomes. I don't think Brady gets back here next year. I think this is his last Super Bowl appearance. And I think Mahomes is going to win it and continue to take the step forward into leading his own dynasty and kind of trying to replicate Tom Brady's success. So I think 30-28 Chiefs. Um, yeah, but in any case, I hope everybody watches the game, instead of hating on Mahomes or Brady, just appreciate greatness, because in basketball we never got to witness a Jordan versus Kobe finals or a Jordan versus LeBron finals. The ages just didn't align there. The closest thing we got was probably a Jordan Magic finals, but just please, everybody, watch this game and enjoy the greatness of Tom Brady versus Mahomes. It's gonna be different. We're never gonna experience something like this again. I think it's gonna be one of the best Super Bowls of all time. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Um, Again, be sure to watch the Super Bowl this Sunday. Please like my video if you enjoyed, and also please subscribe. It's free for you. It takes 10 seconds, but it helps me out a ton, and I greatly appreciate it. So, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.